I was going to do this later on in the day, but when I returned home, but since I have a little break in my day now, I'm going to address this now because I may not have time to do it later. It is based off of a comment that I received, and it is based on added information about the reincarnation trick and the prison planet theory. There is a stigma with the reincarnation trick and the prison planet theory that revolves around fear and being afraid. And I see a comment, and I have seen comments from people who have said that they are afraid after learning about the reincarnation trick and the prison planet theory. This one particular comment said that she just finished watching my video about the reincarnation trick and the prison planet theory here on my channel, and that she's scared that she has to do this by herself. She says she needs time to absorb everything that was said, and that she would like to hear more information about the source, and that she's definitely overwhelmed. Well, I want to state this first. There's nothing to fear when it comes to the reincarnation trick and the prison planet theory. This is what makes me different from a lot of the other speakers who speaks on these two topics, because a lot of the speakers, they will, again, this is why I don't like using the word trap, because when you use the word trap, the reincarnation trap, you're basically putting fear into it, because if you are trapped in a hellish type of realm where you are told that no matter what you do, you're going to have to keep coming back to that realm, keep coming back to that realm, but that's a scary thing. This is why I don't like using the word trap, because we're not trapped. Because to be trapped is a scary thing, and it's nothing to be afraid of if you have nosis. The reincarnation trick is not a scary thing to know about. If anything, it should be empowering. Because before you found out about the reincarnation trick, you had just thought that after death you go back to being dust, or you go to heaven or hell, and that was it. You had no idea that before you were born, you had signed a soul contract. You were tricked into reincarnating down here with lies telling you that you had a mission, you had karmic debt you had to fulfill. You had no idea that you had been reincarnated hundreds of times. You didn't know this information. And so you didn't have a choice before, because you didn't know. And as long as you didn't know this information, you had no choice, which meant you had no power. But once you found out the information that there is a reincarnation loop, and you are tricked into reincarnation by the image of a white light, or sometimes no light, just people telling you to come with them. Once you found out that information, that's when you gained power. That's when you gained having a choice. And having power and having a choice are two things that Enki and his archons do not want you to have. They don't want you to have them. Marduk doesn't want you to have that, because having a choice and having a power means and it makes you more powerful than they are. So with you now having a choice and you now having the power to say no, once you cross over from life to physical death, why is there a fear? You know that you're going to get out. You know that there's no absolute doubt that you're going to get out, because you have the gnosis, you have the power, you have the choice. You have 3 things that you need to get out. I don't care what anyone says. If anyone tells you it's going to be damn near difficult, it's going to be damn near impossible, I'm telling you it's going to be impossible. Don't listen to them. That is them trying to put you in fear. If you hear a guy on a street corner talking about the reincarnation trick and he says it, it's going to be impossible, don't believe it. It is not impossible to escape the reincarnation trick. It is going to be challenging, especially if you don't have that gnosis and you are not aware and you don't have that power. it can be challenging. But if you have that gnosis and you have that power, it's basically fairly simple. Now, it's not going to be easy, because for a lot of people, they say, no, I'm not going, I'm sovereign, and then there's a confrontation. But again, that's where the power comes in. If you have the power of using your abilities, even that will be, okay, you want to have a conversation, let's have it. And you're ready to go with that. But it is not impossible. And really, it's not even difficult. You just have to be able to use your power and use your choice and have that gnosis upon crossing over. So it's nothing to be afraid of. It is not a fear-mongering. What is a fear-mongering tactic is not having this information and thinking, oh, this is just a regular world, everything is okay, and you go into the new simulation and you merge yourself with AI in the new simulation. Now that's a fear-mongering tactic, because once you get to that point, that's when all the fears are going to be manifested within that new simulated realm that we are headed to. That's fear-mongering. And it's fear-mongering with absolute facts, because it is going to be a fear-mongering realm. But knowing about the trick, it is nothing to be afraid of. If you have that gnosis, if you have that power, if you have the choice, which you do have upon you learning this information, you have nothing to be afraid of. And for those who are afraid of Enki, don't be afraid of Enki. Enki is a punk-ass coward. There is nothing to be afraid of. Enki is more afraid of you than you are of him. He may come off as bold, and Enki is more afraid of you than you are of him. Don't be afraid of Enki. Don't be afraid of Marduk. I don't care how many people get on social media, oh, Enki, and I've said it. Yes, Enki is very powerful. Yes, he is. He's very powerful. He's very tall. He's very insane. But you know what? You are more powerful. And the taller they are, the harder they fall. So don't be afraid of Enki either. I have seen a few people say, Enki, he's a scary guy. No, he's not. If I were to see Enki, in which I keep asking, I keep asking Enki, you know what, Enki? You're doing all these things behind the scenes. Just show up. Show up in front of me. If you're that big and bad, show up in front of me. And he never does. Because he's a coward. There's no need to be afraid of Enki/Lucifer. Lucifer can only do to you what you allow him to do to you. See, this is what we all have to understand. We are not just Samantha, Tom, Harry, Jane, P.S. Montgomery. We're not just that. We are more than what we've been told we are. We are more than what we see on that birth certificate. We are so much more than that. We are so much more powerful than that. When I say we are the gods, I'm not saying that symbolically. I literally mean we are the gods. So there's no need to be afraid. Every time you say, I'm afraid, what you're doing is you're giving, even with you saying it, you're giving out loose energy. You're feeding. And what people don't realize is the more that you feed Enki and his archons, the weaker that you become and the stronger that they become. The more you feed them, they get stronger, you get weaker. Stop being afraid of the information of the reincarnation trick. There is nothing to be afraid of. Stop being afraid of the information about the prison planet theory. There's nothing to be afraid of. Even if it comes time, when it comes time, not if, for these gods to make their appearance, do not be afraid. You are not going to be harmed because you have the power. I'm telling you, you may think this is crazy, but I'm telling you, you are not going to be harmed. If you have that gnosis and you have that choice and you have that power, you are not going to be harmed. And don't ever think I'm doing this by myself. I'm learning this information by myself. You are never alone. Now, I don't know about these other speakers, but I can honestly say for me, all of you all who are learning this information, if you need to contact me, contact me. You have me, I'm in your corner. And I don't even know any of you all personally, but I'm in your corner. And many others like me are in your corner. You have the good beings, beings, out there who are in your corner. They just can't intervene, but they can advise, they can encourage, they can motivate, they can strengthen, and they are in your corner. The universe is in your corner. The universe has your back. You have to remember that. So you are not doing this by yourself. Even when you cross over into the afterlife, if you cross over into the afterlife with full gnosis, and with you having the full choice of saying no, and with you having the full power, you are not crossing over alone. You may not see those beings, but they are right there with you. You may not see the universe, but it is right there with you. When you, even as you're saying, no, I'm sovereign, they're right there. They're right there. So you're not doing this by yourself. Don't ever think that you are alone. That's what Enki and Marduk and the Archons want you to think. The character in my novels, that's what I wrote in my novels. The Enki and Marduk and the Archons, I wrote it in the novel where they tried to make the characters in my novel, August and Noah and Will, make them feel, you're alone. You don't have anybody. No one's here to help you. That's a lie. You're going to do this all by yourself. You're not alone. There are more of the good beings out there than there are of the evil beings. So you have to know this. To the commenter who wrote that, you have to know this. You are not doing this by yourself. So, and yes, it is overwhelming to learn this information. It is quite overwhelming. And the reason why it's so overwhelming is because there's so much information to take in. This is why it takes days and it takes a few weeks. Unfortunately, we don't have months anymore, but we do have days and weeks. Because I know when I first learned it, when I first heard about all of this information, before I had my experiences, it was overwhelming to me. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe, wow, it's a lot. And it took me a while to really process it all. But then once I processed it all, it resonated with my ISB, and I knew this is the truth. So yeah, it's going to be overwhelming, and there's nothing wrong with it being overwhelming because it is a lot. It's information that has been hidden from all of us for centuries. And it is information that is about everything, who we are, how we got here, how this world was created, who are the rulers of this world, what's outside of this world. So that's a lot. So yes, take a minute and just process it step by step. But once you process it step by step, don't ever think that you're alone. Even those of you out there who you have family members and you believe these things and your family members are calling you crazy. Your family member, you can't talk about it with your family members. Hey, you're still not alone. Your family members are not with you on it, but the universe is. The universe will always have your back. Even if there are those out there who are feeling down and depressed, and I have no one to talk to about my sadness and my depression, you are still not alone. Reach out to someone. It was no more than leaving a comment to one of these people in my comment section and say, hey, I need someone to talk to. Can I talk to? I know you. I don't know you. You don't know me. But hey, can I talk? Email me. Because that's what I'm here for. I don't know about these other speakers, but I'm not just here to just give information and to put out a book. I'm here to be able to be a listening voice, to be an encouragement, to be a motivator for people, for ISBs like myself. And many others. There are others out there that you can reach out to, just like me, not just me, that will really listen because they care. And so, knowing all that, you are never alone at all. Don't ever feel that. Don't ever let Enki, Marduk, or the Archons make you feel that way. That is the way of Lucifer. That is the way of Satan. Satan being Marduk, Lucifer being Enki. You are never alone. Even when you step over to the afterlife, you still are not alone. The universe is with you. The good beings are with you. And there are many. There are many good beings out there. Many I can't even call by name. There are many. And they are rooting for you. They are rooting for you to turn away from the trick so you don't come back here, so you can return home to where you belong, to where you were supposed to be. So always know that you have the power. You have a choice. You have nosis because you know about this information, and because you have those things, these topics should never make you afraid. They are not fear-mongering, they are power-mongering. These topics being discussed are meant to let you know that you have the power, you have a choice, and if you're hearing this information, you now have nosis, which means you can win, and Enki, Lucifer, Marduk, Satan can fail. Never forget that. Thank you, and until next time.
Let me tell you something you already know. The world ain't all sunshine and rainbows. It's a very mean and nasty place, and I don't care how tough you are, it will beat you to your knees and keep you there permanently if you let it. You, me, or nobody is gonna hit as hard as life. But it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. That's how winning is done.
Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us.
Dig deep down, ask yourselves, who do you want to be?
You said to the kid, it ain't about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. How much you can take and keep moving forward. Get up.
Get up. And don't ever give up.
We can stay here, get the shit kicked out of us, or we can fight our way back into the light. We can climb out of hell. 1 inch at a time.
To be able at any moment to sacrifice what you are for what you will become.
Because limits, like fears, are often just an illusion.